Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at the I Joe Cobra Detonator. We enter into 1993 with a bang. This one is a biggie. We have an ICBM launcher for Cobra. The detonator was first released in the United States in 1993. It included the driver Nitro Viper. The detonator was unfortunately discontinued in 1994. This is a long range anti aircraft assault vehicle. Oh, the pilot slash driver Nitro Viper was first released as part of the 12th series 1993, boxed with the Cobra detonator. He was discontinued domestically in 94. The Viper holds the dubious distinction of being the only G.I. Joe character released during the 82 to 94 not to come with a file card. 94 noted the 3 3/4 inch collector Michael Lavonis created a Nitro Viper file card that was sanctioned by Hasbro. Very, very good on him, and very kind of neat to sit here and say that we have a collector that actually came up with a file card for an actual figure and was endorsed by Hasbro. Okay, looking at the different pictures we have here, kind of taking off of this for getting our stats here. So we do have 3 missiles, and the nice function for this for the kids is the fact that these are foam darts that we can shoot. Um, the big selling points, but it does bring into the whole other rest of the stuff. I mean, Cobra has been now running around for a number of years, and now we have acquired an ICBM, which we still have countries that are working on this on their own. So this is pretty significant for the world, to really think about it. What can they put on an ICBM? All right, so starting off with our box art here, we get to see 2 different cannons on here as well as our rocket launcher. And then the print's a little on the small side, even for me, especially, sometimes I have a hard time when I'm recording these because my eyes just don't want to adjust to this stuff. And it's funny how, I'm an old man at this point. So, there's times where I can look at this and I can see it without a problem. Um, Honestly, the funny thing is the way technology works. On my phone, I can blow it up better than what I can do on on a computer screen. So I can actually see this better on a phone because I can blow it up and I can read some of this stuff better. Uh, but we do have our 2 cannons. I did not put any stats for our guards here. I just figured that's going to be our regular vehicle information. Now for assembly, we do have our little air pocket here to shoot this out, and we have a plunger that plunges down on it to essentially launch our foam dart. And of course, we do have our uh, kind of station back here, as well as our rear gunner, and it is kind of geared together so that way when you twist one, you're moving the other. And let's see here. Then we have our missiles, our stickers to go on there, and putting the tires on as well, getting it all placed together. All right, so we do have 3 long-range missiles, a front command cockpit, which holds 3 Cobra figures. We do have middle battle platform seats to hold 2 extra figures. Let's see, we have our air powered rocket blaster, launcher, gantry, double barrel anti aircraft gun, rotating gunner's turret seat with another anti aircraft gun, all 6 all terrain puncture proof monster tires, and side mounted double barreled 50 millimeter Dragonfire gun. All right, I don't know where 8 was. Oh, eight's the one in the middle or in the front here, actually. Um, so looking at it, we have the 2 guns plus the missile launcher. I think I have the rear gun how I want it. Uh, I think I have it at speeder scale, so that way, depending on what we have, sometimes we have helicopters that are going to be a little on the lighter side, so they might come in as a speeder scale, so that all kind of works hand in hand. And remember, the higher we go, so we start off at speeder, then we go to walker, we will gain because now it's considered a bigger target, so it'll become easier to actually hit them with our cannons. And then we have all the stickers to go on our missiles and so on and so forth. And then we're all the way back to our starting point. Now, easily lost and or broken pieces, the three orange full missiles are unfortunately easily lost. There's no other known variations of the detonator. But one of the nice things that we are actually given here from yojo.com is the actual original retail price being $29.99 to make that just under $30 mark. As the prices have kind of come up through the years, we've seen this increase along the way. It's an interesting piece here. And because at this point, I'm an adult at this point, so that tells you how old I am. Um, yeah, I think that there were. I think I'd already kind of gotten rid of all my Joe stuff. My father had told me, "Hey, get rid of all this junk toys." He didn't really care for me having the toys and all that stuff. So as a young impressionable lad, I unfortunately had gotten rid of all my Joes, which is funny because then you look at all the stuff that I collect now, just trying to harken back to my childhood, even if it just sits there on a shelf and is nice to look at. Now, obviously, I don't think I'm going to be picking any of this stuff up. I've decided that 6 inch is my line to go with. I'm really just kind of getting some of the figures and all that stuff, and I can get some of the Star Wars and all that as well. But just the implications to sit here and say, as the world of G.I. Joe, we have a terrorist organization that has that ability to have a ICBM is a pretty scary thought, and a bigger reason to make sure that we keep a force like G.I. Joe going in the world. All right, with this, let's switch on over and see what I've come up with in our stats and go from there. All right, so I do want to give a little note. I found the picture that we have here online. It's from a seller. Um, Shoot, I really wish I would have kept that picture up. Hopefully, I don't mess this up. Um, this actually comes from Wheeljack's Lab. He buys and sells toys. I just really wanted to make sure I got a little shout out because I'm using a picture that he had shot for this. Now, the detonator is going to be at Walker scale. We do have this at 40 feet long. Actually, I've got this a little bit wrong here for the crew because I thought I had it right, but I don't. We do have a crew of three because we have the two gunners as well as the driver and two passengers. So let's get that corrected here. Now, because I just taking from the last vehicle that we did and changing things up. So from the Ford America, we had the carry capacity or cargo capacity of 2 tons. I left that in there. Keeping the full coverage. Of course, it's going to be ground altitude. Maneuverability, this thing, I didn't see a big need to change it. So we have a 1D plus 2 for our movement. Now, remember, Ford America is like a severely modified version of a 113. This is going to be 40 feet long, 6 tires here. It might move in the middle here, but just the fact that this is a longer piece of machinery and all that, maneuverability may not be quite there. Let's see, and being wheeled like this, one of the bigger reasons I know that the military does enjoy having the wheeled vehicles is the fact that they can get them up on highways. So for that reason alone, I do have this at going 60 miles an hour. We do have the body strength of 2D. That's kind of a holdover. This is going to be a rear line vehicle. I don't see this as being a front line anything. Uh, for that reason, I don't think we're going to have as good of armor on here as what we might on some other vehicles. It's really going to be more tailored just for the single weapon, the ICBM. Whether I'm right or wrong, you can always debate that and you can always change it for whatever you need it. And I know I am behind on getting some of these up there. I'll try and get these going here. The next couple weeks is going to be very key. I've got a couple things going on in my personal life. So please bear with me on that. We'll get these up here and we'll get going. And if it doesn't seem fast enough, always feel free to drop me a little reminder saying, "Hey, are we getting this up here?" Um, so let's continue on here. Our weapons: we do have the light blaster cannon. Now this is going to be our front turret. Um, this is at speed or scale. It's a 4D damage. This would be what they were calling the 50 millimeter. So I don't know if this really should be a 40 or if I should actually have this bigger. In some regards, I think it probably should be. Let's get it up to a 6, and we'll drop the light here, and we'll just keep it at a blaster cannon. Now, we have 3 intercontinental missiles, ICBMs. This is our, gee, shouldn't I forgot to change that. It's not a rear turret, it's just forward. I don't even think it's a um, turret at all. I think it's just front. And of course, the fact that typically you would uh, raise it all the way up, and it's going to go where it's going to go. Oh, okay. All right. So we do have this at front, capital scale. Now, the reason why I put it at capital scale is because typically when we think of ICBMs, usually we're talking about like nuclear missiles or something else like that. Big, scary things. Now, I'm just leaving it as a 7D damage. Um, Actually, let's do something we've never really done before, and we're doing this all on the fly. As chaotic as the world is for me to this the next couple of weeks, we're going to try and get all these out here, but sometimes we're going to have to do things a little differently here. Now, let's do 7D out for 1 kilometer. KM. All right, and then let's go out. Let's do. Let's drop it down to 5D damage for going out to 2 kilometers. And then we'll just kind of drop it off there. All right. So that means that wherever this hits, you have 3 kilometers just as a standard ICBM non-nuclear. That's still pretty significant. It's pretty scary stuff here, at least in my mind, because I mean, you don't have to be close or anything. You're just, or you don't have to be right on target. You can just be kind of close, and you're going to do quite a bit of damage here. That's where a lot of this stuff really gets to be scary things. And this might be something that you get one of these into a theater for possible combat, and then you're going to have G.I. Joe purposely trying to go out to find and disarm these things. Maybe even try and figure out how to lock it down so it just wipes itself out. But on the other chance, you really don't want these going off, even if it's there at a Cobra base, because you don't know what kind of civilians are going to be there. People that have no idea what's been brought into their neighborhood. All right, and then we also have the twin repeating blaster. Now this is rear turret, not front turret. So as I'm trying to get all this done here, all right, rear turret. Now keep in mind this is speeder scale damage. Actually, because this is twin repeating blaster, we're going to put this at a 7D. These are our flat cannons. At speeder scale, if we knock this down, you're going to be doing 3D damage. It's not going to do a lot of damage to a uh, my mind is blanking out because I'm trying to rush through this and I'm thinking of other things. Okay, so if we're looking at a starfighter, it's only going to be able to do 3D damage. My mind finally kicks in here. Now, for Walker scale, if something is at Walker scale, it's going to do 5D damage. But still, our fire control is going to get higher and higher, and we're going to be able to do more accurate firing towards them. Uh, Still, 3D damage may not be a lot, and we may have damage resistances and so on and so forth, but it's still something, and that's really what flat cannons do. it's not necessarily taking it out in one shot, but it's a barrage of these. So heavens forbid we have 5 of these out there, and you're actually flying a starfighter, uh, 3D per cannon, and you have 5 of them shooting at you. It will whittle you down, and that's enough to keep some aircraft away. Heavens forbid you're in something that's a smaller scale than that, and it starts whittling you away a lot faster. So, with that being in mind, I think we got a pretty good gist of it all. And with that being said, we've kind of concluded this. Uh, Again, it's a scary idea having an ICBM in Cobra's kind of hands. We've seen them using um, mutagen gases, um, a lot of different. They do a lot of gas attacks, usually trying to disarm people, mutate people, kind of do like a mind control, something else like that, that might possibly, you know, make things difficult for G.I. Joe and their allies. Let's just say that because I do have the range modified here from what we would normally see. So we're going out to 80 kilometers is our short range. Actually, why don't I put a 40 to 80 kilometers. Anything under 40 would then have a negative um, 2 hit or whatever, making it a little bit more difficult because it's meant for longer range. So we're going to want 40 to 80 kilometers away for our minimum range. Longer range is going to be out to 200 kilometers, and long range is going to be out to 500 kilometers. Now, in the long sense of what a traditional intercontinental ballistic missile would be, I'm sure that's very short. It's probably going to be like 400 to 800 kilometers or something. I don't know. But let's just kind of keep it a little bit shorter range. Um, Still, it's pretty scary to say how far that could go. I should really have, I'm just thinking about it now, I should really have brought up a map of the world to say, hey, how far away is 500 kilometers? What country in Europe could you be sitting in and hit another country? That's a scary thought, especially for something that's only 40 feet long and they could possibly disguise it. If you think about it in this regard, our standard trailers are 40 to 48 feet or 40 to 53-foot long. So you could throw this on a flatbed somewhere and possibly truck it around, drop it off, and it could be sitting there and you're still trying to track that truck and you don't realize that it's already dropped off its cargo. Scary ideas from a real world possible scenario. So, all right. Thank you for stopping by and visiting. It's always wonderful having you here. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in the next video.